Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Video Game Choo Choo podcast. Folks, it's time for games. It's really, really time for games. Like, holy shit, is it time for games. This past week was just time after time of games. I'm John. I'm driving the train, and with me this time is Spencer.
Hey.
And Christine.
Hey. It's good to be here, fellow saint.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chris and I had a long week.
Yeah.
Well, I think we could just get to the news, because, hey, they showed off the new console for real, and it feels more real than ever before.
Yeah.
So the PlayStation 5, the fifth one, the newest one, they had another showcase showing off a bunch of games for the PS5, and then they actually revealed when it's coming out. That's crazy. It's real. They have the price. You can pay that money to get one. And I did that. I pre-ordered a PS5.
Yeah, with your Yu-Gi-Oh money, right?
Correct, yes. I sold a Yu-Gi-Oh card for $600, and then I used $500 of that, because the PS5 is, for the disc version, is $500, well, $499, whatever the fuck, who cares? And then the discless is $399, so $400. And so I said, hey, I'm getting the one with the disc, because I like to have discs. And, yeah, I got one. I almost didn't. I drove up to my local GameStop, and there was already a line. Like, right after the presentation, I drove up to my local GameStop, and there was already a line. And I got in that line, and I was the last person to get one. Everyone else behind me was pissed. It's fucked up. You know, like, Sony had said that they were going to give people a heads up. They were going to let people know that that the pre-orders were going to be up. And that was not true. That was not true at all. They just started listing it on stores, and they sold out very quickly. I don't know what the hell was going on. It was very bad. But I got one. So, I might, like, try to stream it or something on launch day. I might have class. So, maybe, like, that night. But it's real. It's out there. And
it exists.
It's November 12th. Is when it's coming out. It's not that long. That's like 2 months. 2 months until we have new consoles. That's crazy.
Yeah, they almost waited until the month before. Like, it's almost like we're already halfway through September here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess we could run through the event, because there was a lot of stuff.
And it was, like, really interesting how much information you didn't get from that event that you just got from Jeff Keighley afterwards.
It was very weird. It was very strange that, like, hey, all of a sudden this happened, and then Keighley had to come out and go, actually, this is how it is. Actually, this is how much this costs. Yeah. It was very strange. I don't know why Sony did it the way they did.
And companies, too, like, they had to take down multiple of the trailers because they ended with, for PS5 and PC, but then the companies making them came out with statements that, like, oh, it's PS5 only. Mm-hmm. It's not coming to PC. It's like, wait, what? What is happening?
And, I mean, maybe those games are coming to PC eventually, but Sony doesn't want people to say that. They want people to buy their console so they can get it 6 months early or whatever. But, you know, it was bizarre. The whole thing was bizarre. I think we're still trying to figure out what's going on, so don't take anything as gospel. I mean, I'm not even 100% sure that the price is going to stay the same. Like, who knows? In like 2 weeks, they might just go, actually, it's $5.50. You're going to have to go back to the store and pay an extra $50. Like, if that happens, I mean, I'll be upset, but I'll still be like, all right, yeah, you know, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the first thing they showed off was Final Fantasy XVI.
Hell yeah, they did.
Hell yes.
I'm not the big FF head. You all are, but I thought it looked alright. I don't really know what's up with like the lore and all that, but the combat seemed kind of fun.
Yeah, they have the combat director from Devil May Cry 5 on this one, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So it looks more character actiony, which is pretty fun. As far as the lore is concerned, you basically know as much as we do because all of the Final Fantasies aren't really like connected to each other. They don't have the same history. There's like common elements like chocobos and certain monsters, but they're not necessarily connected to one another. Although I will point out that the Phoenix in the trailer does kind of just straight up look like the Phoenix from Final Fantasy XIV.
I saw a lot of people talking about how it looks like a lot of the things in there look like Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I wanted to pass it on to you too, because I was just like, I don't know.
I think this is a case, like 14 actually reuses a lot of enemy models from 11. I think this is just a case of we have the models from 14 already. Let's just scale them up a bit, up-res them, make them look nicer, and then put them in 16. Which, if that saves you time, go for it.
And like they use, and a lot of the reason people do that are seeing it too is not just that, but the trailer uses a lot of the same terminology that 14 uses. Like in most of the other Final Fantasy games, they don't really use the term icons for the summons as much as they do in like that's what they're called in 14. So people see that, and then there's the idea of alternate worlds and things like that. But I look at it and I see elements from Vagrant Story and things like that, where it's just like there's a whole lot of stuff from different parts of Square history in there. And like the main director is the guy behind like Last Remnant and a bunch of other Square games that weren't as well received, but has me actually like more excited because of it. Yeah. And also the fact that Yoshi P is a producer, and the music during the trailer sounded very Masayoshi Soken, but at the same time, it's like Yoshi P's just a producer, y'all. He's not directing it. It's not gonna be his vision. It's a lot of Final Fantasy XIV fans jumping to conclusions, because that's what we do.
It looks about I'm as interested in it as I was back when like 15 was coming out, basically. Like, yeah. And like 15 is a very you love it or hate it Final Fantasy, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was seeing a lot of people posting on Twitter saying that 15 was like dog shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know about that. I thought it was like okay, but I only played a little bit of it, so I don't know. Because
of the aesthetics of 16 from that trailer, a lot of people are comparing it to The Witcher, because it's just like strictly medieval, whereas like every other Final Fantasy game has some element of like science fiction or science fantasy.
Yeah, there were like there's like no magitech or anything like that.
So I think the only one that was like strictly medieval was like 2, and even that still had like airships and stuff. But yeah, it's still too early to say whether 16 will be good, obviously. If my roommate was disappointed because he enjoys the turn-based Final Fantasies more so than the real-time combat ones.
Yeah.
So, but...
Which I honestly don't think we're ever going to see a turn-based Final Fantasy mainline title again.
I think they're just putting those in like the gacha games now, really.
Yeah, but I mean, there's like having that combat. Like a lot of people on Twitter once again screaming like, "Hey, it's all dudes again!" But even then, we don't know enough because they showed like 3 people, but then they also showed those 3 people turning into summons. So it's like, okay, but they also showed Shiva, so is that going to be a main character in the party, or is there going to be a party where you looked at some of the combat scenes and it looked like you were just controlling one character, but then there was a later combat scene where it was like, oh, this looks like gameplay, and it looks like there are other characters also running around with you, so what's to say I can't just switch to, if I want to control the Shiva character, I can't switch to her, and, you know, sort of Final Fantasy VII, every character playing differently, Tifa playing like a fighting game character, and, you know, stuff like that. What's to say it doesn't take that element, and you can just, hey, control the character you want to control.
But at the end of the day, it's just a cool, fancy trailer showing, hey, 16 is a real thing that is going to be happening in the future, and you can play it first on PS5.
And Dragoons always do their job properly, which is to jump in and die.
Yeah.
Floor tank magic.
I think that's it for 16, though.
All right.
Yeah.
They showed off a little bit more of Spider-Man Miles Morales. You know, that
looked really cool.
Yeah, it does look good. So I guess we can kind of also talk about really quick the pricing of these new games. And you know, I'm not going to jump too far ahead because there are games that we're going to talk about later that are these prices and all that. But it seems like the big AAA games on the PS5 are going to be priced between $60 and $70, depending on just, I don't know, it seems a little arbitrary. But, you know, some of the bigger games that we're going to be discussing in a bit are $70 on the PS5. And Miles Morales, because it's a smaller game, is $40. But there's an Ultimate Edition that comes with Spider-Man PS4, like the game on the PS4, like an enhanced version where they did a bunch of upscaling and made it better for PS5.
You can actually see the puddles now, maybe.
Yeah. That's going to be bundled in with a $70 version of the game. So, you know, I mean, that's not like a horrible deal, especially if it comes with all the DLC. I feel like $40 for the base game and then another $30 for like the old game plus all the DLC, and it's like up-resed and all like PS5 enhanced. That makes some sense. I'm not that upset about that, but I don't know. It $70 as the standard for games. It's like, you know, there's people saying video games should be more expensive because they are so expensive to make, and that's true. But you all know that all that money is just going to the bigwigs, the fucking executives, and not to the people that actually deserve the money, the people that made it.
Yeah, that's the problem with the whole thing, because I look at games back when I used to start buying them, and $80 was regular. But, you know, I spent $85 on Final Fantasy III. So it's like I see it, and I do go, games should be more expensive, but the money's not going to the right people. These teams are still going to finish a game after all that, maybe get a small bonus, and then get fired, more than likely, until they find a new game to work on. It's the games industry is a fucked up place, because it's finally getting to, hey, we should actually charge what these things cost to actually make. Isn't a good thing. It's oh yeah, but the money's not going to the people who should get it. It's not giving them job security. It's not giving them, it's just going to the CEO's bonus.
Yeah. So yeah, Miles Morales does look good. I'll just say that. But I guess to just go directly into the next topic, like you're talking about, supporting game devs and all that. They announced a new Harry Potter game.
I feel bad for everyone working on that.
Yeah, Hogwarts Legacy. So, this has been a pretty open secret for like years now. I remember this leaking like 2 years ago or some shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, it looks like as a game, it could be okay, but J.K. Rowling has just more and more and more revealed that she is just the absolute worst piece of shit. She is just a complete scumbag. Fuck her and everything that she stands for. But a lot of people on Twitter are trying to like wring their hands and be like, well, I love Harry Potter, but I don't love her. I'm still gonna buy the game. Maybe I'll buy it used or something. It's just like,
I need to support the devs. It's like, you're also supporting her.
That is the argument that we're seeing all over the place, is that there's people trying to say, well, if I buy it, most of the money goes to the devs, right? It's like, no, it goes to the publisher, and it goes to her because of royalties. Game devs don't get royalties. They don't get a cut of the sales. All the game devs have already been paid, and they're probably just going to get fired after this, or if they are kept on, they're just going to get kept on to make another Harry Potter game, or whatever, and they're just going to keep getting paid, and it's not going to really matter from the sales. It's going to be they get paid for just continuing to work. So, it doesn't matter. You buying it or not does not matter. Like, less people buying it might show Warner that, hey, they shouldn't fucking work with her anymore, and they won't make Harry Potter stuff anymore, because, like, I feel like we're getting close to that, because, like, Fantastic Beasts, like, both of those movies flopped, so, maybe at some point they're gonna give up on her, but, I don't know, I just think that we are, like, that everyone should be done with Harry Potter. It's fucking old and dumb, and there's cooler stuff out there from people that aren't rampant, insane transphobes that fucking, I don't want to get any trouble saying stuff, but, you can fill in the blanks. Terrible, terrible, terrible person. So, yeah, just, move on. Read something else, please.
I mean, as somebody who, like, grew up as a child reading those books and was really interested in them and really liked them, by the time the last book came out, and it was like, the seventh and final chapter of this big, huge franchise. My senior year of high school was coming up, and I got like halfway through the book, and I was like, you know what? I don't care to finish this anymore. I'm done. And this was well before like Rowling started showing her ass all over social media. So, like, those were things that meant something to my childhood and affected my childhood. But I don't care to fucking finish that series now, and I don't care to go back to it.
Yeah,
it's showing her ass has just affirmed that.
Yeah, like it's one of those things that I was like heavy into fantasy in that era. So when I started reading it, I made it through like half the first book, just because she's not that good. Her writing, like, I could understand why it's so important to so many people, because it's your first. Like, if that's your introduction to a cool genre that, magic is awesome. And, fantasy is awesome. And the weird mix of modern, kind of the, hey, here's the fantasy world, but it's living alongside the modern world, is a cool idea that when I got to it, I'm like, wow, other people have done this so much better. I'd rather go read something by Guy Gavriel Kay than this instead of, but like, it's one of those things that you can understand why people love it, but
yeah,
I'm just glad I got in there at the right time, that like when I heard about the ending of the main book where it's like, oh yeah, and then Harry Potter grew up to be a cop, and it's like, yeah, I could kind of see that coming a mile away, and it's just a weird, like, character choices, things like that you kind of started to understand that, oh yeah, the transphobia thing didn't end up being a huge surprise for me. The responding to it by doubling and tripling and quadrupling down kind of did, but like, that's the worst part of the whole thing. Like, if she had said something transphobic and gone, oh shit, I didn't realize, instead of just going full Glinner. It's like it's a sad thing that all these people working on this game went from probably, I am so excited to be working on this. I grew up reading Harry Potter. This is so cool. I get to be involved with this franchise, to a whole lot of them probably going, God, I hope people don't buy this. Because she's a fucking monster. Like, and there are people like who work for the company, like literally tweeting like cringy, like not cringy like, stuff, but like
basically just going like, you don't buy the game. Like just like, look, I work for them. Don't buy them. Like just.
I'm not gonna feel bad if you don't buy the game.
Yeah.
Please don't buy the game, which is pretty much them saying, please don't buy the game.
Yeah.
It's sad because you imagine this dream job suddenly becomes a nightmare in the time you take it, and then now it's no.
Yeah, let's move on though.
Yes, please.
So there was some Call of Duty stuff. Who cares? There was Resident Evil Village, which they showed some stuff on that. Nothing really new there, but it's coming out next year. They showed off some more Deathloop, which, that seems really nice. That's Q2 next year. I really dug what they, like, how they went through the process of, like, how you're interacting with the world. Like, for example, they showed that, like, your character's an assassin, and so you're supposed to take out 2 separate targets, and one of those targets is, like, a mad scientist, and the other target is, like, a cannibal, like, party freak, basically. And so the cannibal guy is throwing a party, and the mad scientist would go to the party, but he's in the process of making a new invention. So if you sabotage the invention, then he'll go to the party. But if you don't, you have to kill him while he's working on the invention. And then, maybe the person who's running the party will have, like, higher security or won't be there. And so you can, like, use the time loops to figure out, like, the best way to do your assassinations. And that just seems really, really cool. I dig that a lot.
Yeah, the concept of that game, that trailer took it from, I don't know what this is. It seems like a weird, versus game, I guess, at this point. Like, up till now, like, you really didn't have an idea of what the game was other than, like, 2 assassins. And now it's like, okay, you got 8 targets, you gotta kill them all in a day. The other assassin is trying to kill you. Okay, now I know that, hey, I have to manipulate the world to get all the assassins in a place where I can get all the kills in the time constraint that I have. That's a really cool conceit for a game, and I kind of went from, I don't really know if I care about this, to, I really want to play this. So that was a very good video game trailer at selling me on a game.
Yeah.
It's almost like Hitman plus Dishonored, but with the twist of, it's got more of like a, what's the word here? Like pulpy 1960s sort of vibe with the aesthetic. It's kind of, a lot of people have been comparing it to like Team Fortress 2, but it's a bit different from that one. But it looks really neat.
And then after that, we got the confirmation of something that wasn't really that surprising, but it was still cool to see. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition.
Hell yeah.
So that's going to be out at launch on the PS5 digitally, and then they're going to release a physical and like a full release later on PS5 and Xbox Series X, and then there's also going to be just like a paid DLC on PS4 and Xbox One. And they're adding Virgil as a playable character, and some other like turbo mode, and some other difficulties, and some other stuff. I'm not really that like into DMC, so I don't know all the intricacies, but
I mean,
they're adding stuff.
I've only played the bad Devil May Cry 2, but Now that Virgil's playable, I need to play Devil May Cry 5.
If I hope not just Virgil, but I mean, they're in the game, their models are there. Let me also play as frickin', Lady and shoot huge rockets and shit.
Yeah, Trish and Lady still aren't in this, it seems. I mean, there is, you could basically just use Lady's moveset as Dante, and I think you also just basically use Trish's as Dante too, but it still sucks. They really should have been playable in some form, because their like playable models are in there, and that's like why people knew that Virgil was going to get added, because Virgil had a playable model. I don't know. Yeah, it's a shame, but I guess they just wanted to make Dante have more weapons, and it's fun, but also people want to play as the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
And the Trishes. A little comedy for you. They showed that new Oddworld game, which I'm not going to talk too much about because Lauren Lanning is a fucking weirdo libertarian. They had a new Five Nights at Freddy's called Security Breach, which was just fucking insane. Nobody knew what was going on until they showed a big golden Freddy statue, and everyone's like, what the fuck? And then there was a jump scare, and everyone was just like, alright, yeah, it's Five Nights at Freddy's, alright. And then it was stupid. But I don't know. And then they showed Demon Souls, the remake by Blue Point, and I don't know, I have no opinion on this, but I feel like everybody talking about this, Look, I don't want to be mean, but everyone was just like, the font was wrong, the lighting was wrong, and I'm just like, I feel like I feel like everything about this is so nitpicky. Like, I don't know, I feel like it's probably gonna be fine. Like, people were upset that, like, all the enemies were getting killed in one shot, and if that is the case in the release game, I can at least see that as a problem, but everything else that people are complaining about, it just seems so nitpicky, and I don't really get why it's such a big deal, and, maybe you all care more, but
I mean,
I don't know, it seems like it's gonna be fine. I don't know.
Demon Souls is my favorite From Software game that has Souls in the name. I like it more than the whole Dark Souls trilogy combined.
100%.
But, like, I also don't really get those nitpicks, because the things that I'm going to care about is, are they still going to have the upgrade system that I really like but is kind of bizarre? Because you can, like, in Souls games, you can add, like, poison element to your weapons, right? In Demon Souls, you can only add poison to bows specifically. And so it's very one note in its upgrade path, but it's kind of neat because you can just, like, you don't really have to think too much about it. You don't have to consider if, like, oh, do I want to turn this sword into a fire sword or a chaos fire sword? It's just like, do you want your mace to do more raw damage, or do you want to give it holy damage where you get, like, some health regen?
Yeah.
That's the stuff that I'm going to care about, which we're not going to know until it's closer to release or when it is released, and we'll see how much of the gameplay has changed. Which
is going to be on the console release, which it didn't tell you in that trailer.
Yeah, that was a Keighley announcement, and this is also one of those games that's going to be $70. So,
but, like, as far as, like, the aesthetics of the game, the really cool, like, zoom in, like, oh, you did a backstab and you got a guy, or, like, here's, like, a takedown cam of you, like, shoving your sword into the enemy as he collapses on the ground. Like, I don't care about that stuff, because the thing about Demon Souls is, in its development history, it was kind of just like a throwaway project, and they just threw Hidetaka Miyazaki at it and said, here, do it what you want, and then he and his team built it into something that was more than the sum of its parts. But I'm pretty sure that, like, if they had, like, if it was, like, more successful or, like, more focused at the beginning, they would have made it look a lot nicer. And remember, that was like a PS3 title. This is like 2 generations ago. That's the reason why a lot of the stuff looks bad. That character creator is not great.
No, it's not.
They've gotten so much better with character creators.
And their character creators are still pretty bad.
Yeah. But like, so here's the thing. Like, if people are like really nitpicking on the font and they really don't like it, and they say like, this isn't like the Demon Souls that I know, we can't say the argument of like, oh, well, you can just go play the old one, because the old one still exists, but it can't be played online anymore. The servers for that were taken down like 2 years ago or so.
Yeah.
So so you can still play it, but you can't play it in its complete form. The other issue is that like, if people don't like Demon Souls Remastered, they don't like all these preview stuff, and when it comes out, they end up playing it and going, actually, I don't like this at all. They changed too many things, and I don't like it. I think that's fine, right?
Yeah.
What I'm dreading is there are going to be people, there are going to be like diehard Souls fans who are like, this game is bad, I don't like it, and then it gets released and they play it and they're like, but then like Miyazaki is going to get interviewed and somebody's going to ask him, what do you think about the Demon Souls remaster, which you didn't actually work on? And he'll say something like, oh yeah, it was pretty good. I'm really glad the team like kind of like went all ham on the aesthetics and stuff, and everybody's going to come do a complete 180 and go, oh man, Demon Souls Remastered is so good because Miyazaki said so now. It's okay for me to like this thing.
Yep.
That's what I'm dreading.
Like, the Souls fan base is such a weird monster, because I could see that happening.
So,
yeah.
We have to wait for our god Miyazaki to give his approval before we can say we like it or not.
And who knows? Like, maybe I'm liking all the preview stuff, but then I play the game and I'm like, actually, this isn't what I like in a Souls game, and I don't like it. Maybe that happens. We'll see.
Yeah. And I could see that, because Demon Souls to me was all about the way it felt, both upgrade path and the way, like, I just liked the way combat flowed there better than I did in Dark Souls. I've always fallen off of the Dark Souls games. I've beaten them once and then been like, okay, I never want to go back to that again. But Demon Souls I replayed multiple times with different builds and things like that, and just, hey, because it's, I don't know, the game flow felt a little better for me. That's what I care about with the remaster. Like, yeah, the lighting for me with some of the monster designs that they've shown is like, that doesn't quite look right, but I can deal with it not quite looking right if it still plays right.
Yeah.
That's all I care about with those games, because that original game looked like ass, but played really cool. So here's hoping that it gets that launch window Keighley bump.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeff Keighley, for something. Let's see here. Yeah, the Fortnite, who cares? The next thing was kind of weird. They said that there's going to be a new PS Plus benefit, where if you have PS Plus, you'll be able to play a bunch of old PS4 games with, I don't know if there's going to be any kind of like upgrades to them or whatever, but it was just stuff like Persona 5, God of War, Battlefield 1, I'm trying to remember what else. I'm just looking at what I wrote down. Bloodborne, I think.
No, Bloodborne wasn't on there.
I saw Bloodborne. I remember seeing Bloodborne on the trailer, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, just, stuff like that. It was just a bunch of the, like, popular fucking big games.
Yeah, I remember it being, like, all of the, like, really successful, like, big AAA ones. I didn't see Bloodborne there. Maybe it was.
Maybe our brains are just buried.
Yeah.
Look, I'm the person who does not give a shit about the Soul stuff, and I definitely remember seeing Bloodborne, so I did not fill that in, like, that was not...
Huh.
So, there you go.
Interesting.
But yeah, there's just a good amount of those, like, PS4 classics, I guess, are going to be on PS5 if you have PS Plus. They haven't really said anything else about what PS Plus is going to get you on PS5, like new game or like free games or whatever. Like, obviously, you're probably going to need it to play online, but they haven't said anything about, like, free games. Especially because, they don't really have any games to really sell free yet. but I guess we'll find out soon enough. And the PS5 is going to have that Astro's Playroom game built in. I don't know. We're just going to have to see. It's all fucking up in the air.
They don't really have a response to the Xbox's Game Pass, huh?
No, there is no best deal in gaming on the PlayStation.
There's only one best deal in gaming.
This is like the third best deal in gaming. It's like, hey, you get some...
I'm going to say maybe like 9th or 10th at best. This is not anywhere near there.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Nintendo Online, I get the Super Nintendo and Nintendo games, and that's pretty cool.
It could be better.
I can play Tetris 100. Well, yeah, but it's still better than the PS4 one. Because at least it's giving me some unique stuff that's unique to that, like Tetris 100 and the Mario 35 thing that's coming, instead of this, which is just, hey, did you miss that popular game? Well, now you can play it, and it'll be available with, like, they didn't even specify, like, how long if things are cycling out or not, if, like... Are things going to cycle out? Or is it just going to be, hey, if I want to play Persona 5, all I got to do is pay an extra $5 a month or whatever?
Mm-hmm. And then the last thing they showed was that there's going to be another God of War next year. That was it.
Was it another God of War, or was it like an expansion of God of War? It was
a new God of War, they said. New God of War, Ragnarok. Something like that. I don't know. But yeah, there you go. New God of War.
Okay, that's what that was.
Yes.
I did not know what that was. I saw Ragnarok and I was like,
they showed the God of War picture.
Logo.
Yeah, the logo, the little fucking drawing.
Well, they said Ragnarok and I thought, oh, okay, so we're still doing like the Norse God of War stuff. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So I just assumed it was going to be like an expansion.
So how did everybody feel about the showcase? What did you all like? What did you not like? What are you thinking about getting a PS5 soon?
It solidified my decision to probably start with an Xbox One X and then get a PS5 when it had more that I care about, because Dark Souls is not... Demon's Souls, as much as I love that game, going back to it is not enough to sell me on buying a $500 machine right at launch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's probably going to be give it a few months, February or March, when we start seeing more games coming during that, February, that March, April, before you hit the summer dead zone.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I'll start probably looking at a PS5. But until then, I'll probably end up starting with the Xbox One, just because best deal in gaming.
Mm-hmm.
That introduced me to things I love. I found out that I love. Like, I wouldn't have frickin' tried half the games I had tried if I had to pay for them. It's like, oh, okay, I'm going to give this zombie game a try, see if it's any good. Once the PS4 institutes more stuff, or PS5 starts it, if they institute more stuff like that, then I'd be more inclined to jump on, but their deal just doesn't, the stuff they have at this point just doesn't have me sold. Hey, you can backwards compatibility some of your PS4 games. That's not a sales point to me.
They said that 99% of your PS4 games will work on PS5, and they did not specify what the 1% that won't work. I'm going to guess at least one of those is going to be PT.
My guess is the PS2 games they released, like Dark Cloud 2,
sure,
and shit like that.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, I've already got a PS4. If I want to play Dark Cloud 2, I can either get out my PS2 or just play it there. So,
yeah,
I don't feel a big need to get one at launch right now.
How about you, Spencer?
I'm the same way. Like, I am interested in playing Demon's Souls Remastered and Final Fantasy 16. But like, as it stands now, like, I don't have a desire to go like pre-order one. Not the least of which because of like the whole fiasco with that. but also like I'm just not compelled to get one right now. Like we might still end up getting one, but we might not get one till like next year. So
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, if I did not win the Yu-Gi-Oh! Lottery, I might have waited too, but I might have also talked myself into it just because, quote unquote, of the job, you know? So I might have been like, well, I gotta do it because I have a game website and I should review stuff.
yeah.
I don't know.
As far as the showcase itself, I'm willing to give some of the awkwardness a pass because we are still in pandemic times. So, but it was fine. It just kind of like some of that information could have been better communicated. There was a whole fiasco with like the whole, is this coming to PC like at launch as well, with some human error involved, but that's just how it is sometimes.
Like them taking down trailers for a while so they could take out the also coming to PC stuff and replacing it with just exclusive on the PS5.
It would be nice if Sony just played nice with everybody else, but it would also be nice if Nintendo did that too.
Yeah. I mean, it's a weird one, though, because at this point, Nintendo is being nicer about playing with other people than Sony is.
Yeah, it's a weird time, but also you kind of get it because I mean Nintendo is, you know, less of a they're fighting the other people less.
Yeah.
Well, because they have their own market. You're buying a Switch for Nintendo games. You're buying a Switch for it's also a portable.
Yeah.
So if I get some cool Microsoft bonuses on there, awesome.
Do y'all want to just move on to the partner showcase then?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Nintendo also had a partner showcase, which, you know, are those like smaller directs where they don't announce any first party stuff. And they announced 2 new Monster Hunter games, Monster Hunter Rise, which is a like mainline actual Monster Hunter game, and then Monster Hunter Stories 2, which is the game that's like a monster collector. It's like a Pokemon sort of thing, but with Monster Hunter monsters, and that looks pretty neat. So I don't know. Are either of you Monster Hunter heads?
I am a Monster Hunter head.
A little bit.
Yeah, I put 1,300 hours into World. I like this new one because it looks a little more like classic Monster Hunter mixed with some of the stuff from World, so they're like making a big deal out of the fact that they're bringing in the monsters fighting each other stuff and things like that, which wasn't a part of regular, you know, Nintendo 3DS, Wii U Monster Hunter. So this is really the first of the classic Monster Hunter games, kinda. So I am pretty excited for what they're doing with it now that they aren't constrained by being on a 3DS. Yeah, I'm definitely really interested in it because I've been wanting another one more like that than a World. As much as I love World, I still think I kind of prefer the 4,000 hours or so that I put into Monster Hunter 4 on my 3DS. Because that's that's kind of the Monster Hunter that I love, and if they bring the quality of life changes they brought to World with like making the bow an actual feasible weapon you can use, because it sucks in all the other ones. I'm pretty stoked for it. What they showed got me really excited, and having it on a portable system again is going to be nice.
I have no opinion on Rise, but Stories seems pretty neat. I'm ready to catch some monsters and train them in summer 2021. And Monster Hunter Rise is coming out March 26th next year. So, there's all that. They announced Rhythm Boxing 2, Rhythm and Exercise, which is out December 4th. People seem to like that original Rhythm Boxing. Sakurai actually talked it up in a recent article because he was talking about how he gets exercise in the time of the pandemic, and he's playing this at Ring Fit, apparently. So, hey, there you go. But he's excited there's a sequel. Disgaea 6 got announced. I'm actually surprised that there is a Disgaea 6 because it sounded like NIS was going under for a while there.
Yeah.
But it's happening. It's coming out summer next year. They just talked about how the numbers in the game are going higher than ever. Like they showed like total damage, like 9. Like it was like just like quadrillions, which, or maybe even more than that, like quintillions, some shit like that. I don't fucking know. They're just going crazy. Main character's name is Zed, who I guess every time he dies, he becomes stronger because he's like a zombie demon. And there's printy shit all over the place because, of course, it's Disgaea. And, you know, I don't know. I do think a lot of people are upset, like rightly so, that the game seems to be more 3D than like it does. It looks like they have given up on the sprites. But hey, you know, I guess they probably need to save money because they almost fucking died.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do either of you care about Disgaea?
Not really. I've never been into it that much. The designs are neat.
Sure.
But I've never, like, been compelled to play those games.
Yeah.
I've played all of them, but I don't get into the, hey, I want to grind my character level up to 9 billion and do 9 quadrillion damage.
Yeah, that shit has always been horrifying. Like where you can like raise the level of each individual weapon, and like that's sicko shit. I can't imagine doing that.
Yeah, the leveling system in that game is, and like how you grind in that game, they're also obtuse as hell. Their tutorials suck, and it's just like. Okay, I looked at a guide to figure out how this works, or I've been playing this forever so that I know how it works. And it's just like, I don't care to get myself that deep in a strategy RPG that is just a frickin' goofy ass story. Like, I'll sit through your goofy ass story, but I don't care to play more than that. I don't need to do that grind because the story's done. I don't care anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a weird series for me because I like it and simultaneously don't.
Yeah. Let's see. They talked about the Empire of Sin game. They didn't really talk about when it's coming out or anything, but that's still happening. Sniper Elite 4 is coming out holiday this year on Switch. That's pretty okay. The Long Dark came out yesterday on the Switch, as well as Hades. Which
yes.
If you want, you could talk about Hades now because
I'll talk about it a little.
It was like 1.0 now, so you can just go ahead and talk about Hades.
It is. Hades is officially released. They still haven't built in the cross save. That's coming later. So I couldn't bring my PC save over, but. That game is amazing, and after playing a bit on the Switch, it's a little jaggy, but the game runs super smooth. I've had no hitches yet, which is nice because I had that problem with what's the game? Oh my god, my brain's not working. The other roguelike. Where you go through prison and it's like Castlevania. My brain's not working.
Legacy?
No, not Rogue Legacy, but Dead Cells. Dead Cells on the Switch had a lot of slowdown issues, which makes that game suck when it happens, because that game's all about fluidity and smooth motion and getting through that thing. I've had none of that problem with Hades yet. It plays really smooth. as I said, a little bit jaggy, but if you want that on a portable system and don't mind the fact that you aren't going to be able to bring your save over from the PC version, it's phenomenal so far. I can't wait to keep digging into it, and this may be the main way I keep playing it because my PC is always active with other stuff. Yeah, it's a absolutely fantastic game and is probably my favorite of those games like that on the Switch, like that got brought from PC to there. Yeah.
Okay. And then they also talked about fucking PGA Tour on Switch, which just I don't know who the hell is looking for that.
I mean, I used to love Wii golf games. They felt pretty good with the Wii Motion Plus, but that game looks terrible. Like graphically, it looked real bad.
Balan Wonderworld, which is the new Yuji Naka game that looks like it's like a cross between Knights and Sonic Adventure and Billy Hatcher. So just like all those like Dreamcast era, GameCube era Sonic team games. That is coming out March 26th next year. It's got a fucking Chow Garden. I mean, it's not called a Chow Garden, but it's basically a Chow Garden. So that looks pretty neat. I might check that out. I'm down for a Billy Hatcher like. That seems pretty good. And then there was Rune Factory 5 is coming out next year. Looks like Rune Factory.
It doesn't look like Rune Factory. It looks like Rune Factory Frontier, which was a phenomenal game. And it looks like they finally may have... Like, my big hope is that they finally nail the 3D Rune Factory well again, because... They started with Rune Factory, and then they did Rune Factory Frontier on the Wii, which kind of felt like a 3D, the baseline Rune Factory, which was great. But then they did Rune Factory Tides of Destiny for the PS4 or PS3, and I think it came out on 360 too. I'm not entirely sure, but that game sucked. So that's why I'm like, okay, they're doing the full 3D thing again, where I'm moving my camera and stuff like that. I hope they nail it again like they did with Frontier. I really, really hope, because I love the Rune Factory series so much, and I just want them to really nail that one in a modern way that makes more people get into it.
Right, and then the last thing they showed was Ori and the Will of the Wisps on Switch. It's already on there, you can download it, but they're also going to have a special edition from I Am 8-Bit that has, like, art.
And a very pretty box.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there you go. I mean, those Ori games are good. I don't know if, people are going to be wanting to pick up the Switch version, because it did kind of sound like even the Xbox One version was kind of fucked up. But hey, it's on Switch. Maybe it's okay.
Yep. Here's hoping.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't really feel too much about that. Like, Monster Hunter Stories and Balan Wonderworld seemed cool, but otherwise,
Yeah. I liked getting information about Rune Factory and finding out that I could just go download Hades and do something different for the first time in weeks.
Let me just say, this presentation has proven that it is not just me who has become smash-brained. I have heard from multiple people that when that Monster Hunter trailer was going on, and there was the part where, like, the fucking bird showed up with the letter, they were like, oh, is this gonna be a Smash Bros. Reveal? Like, that, this is... We're all thinking like this. We have all become smash-brained. We have all become smash-pilled. It is bad out there.
And it's the worst, like, because it's like you had that July Direct that was incredible, but everyone was angry about it, and I'm like, why do you care so much? I got really cool stuff that I've always wanted, and yet everyone is telling me that I need to be angry because it didn't have Smash Brothers.
Yeah, Nintendo consoles are more than Super Smash Brothers, and I like Super Smash Brothers, but I don't need Smash info every single Direct.
Yeah, they aren't going to announce a Smash character in one of these weird Directs.
I know. I did not think about that for a second, but it was just extremely funny having people legit being like, when's it happening? Like, oh god, are they actually gonna sneak one in here? And then of course they didn't, but
yeah,
it was extremely funny just like hearing that from other people and just being like, God, we are all fucked up. We all like
I think if I was on the PR team for Nintendo, I would say, like, listen, if we're doing a Direct, we have to tell them if there's going to be Smash stuff in there or not. Because if we tell them there's not going to be and people don't watch it, that's going to be less bad than we don't tell them and then they watch it and then they all get really pissed online.
But I mean, they told us that with the July one. They literally said there is no Smash Brothers news in this. And then everybody got mad that there wasn't Smash Brothers news. And it's like, they literally fucking told you there's no Smash Brothers news.
Yeah,
what the fuck is wrong with you people?
If they bring up Smash Brothers, then people are going to be like, oh, they want us to watch. You know, like, it's just, like, even recognizing it immediately becomes a fucking it's a fucking illness. It's an illness that I have, and it's bad. So,
oh no, I get it. Like, I enjoyed taking a break from fishing to look over at my Twitter and see like as it was getting started about 6:55. It's like, well, now time to find out how much people are going to get angry that there's no Smash Brothers news in this non-Nintendo Direct. Mm. Like, it's just, y'all got worms in your brains, and those worms are called Smash Brothers.
It's true. Please get them out.
You got Smash worms?
You got Smash worms.
All right, well, that was kind of all the big news this week. There was some other stuff, but we should talk about games. All right, you two, go ahead.
Oh, with the fishing problem?
Yeah, but please be reasonable. Okay,
we'll be very reasonable.
Yeah, we're already an hour in, so please.
I mean, we can knock this out in like what, 10, 15 minutes?
Please.
Yeah, I mean, the fishing part we could probably nail out in 5 because literally all we did was stand in one spot fishing for 9 hours a day.
In Final Fantasy XIV, to be clear, because
yes,
they added it. Like, Shadowbringers has added in-game crafting and gathering content, which hasn't really been in the game before. And so every patch since Shadowbringers launched, they've added like crafting content and gathering content, and the whole point of it is to like build up this area of like a city that was destroyed in a war. And so your contributions, like, kind of going back to the Disgaea thing of building up this huge, big, unreasonable number, like everybody who turns in like a crafted item or something they gathered out in this area called the Diadem contributes to like that server score. And then when the bar fills up, you get to do like a little event where like you're mixing cement or you're hammering up like houses and you're building the place up after a week's period of time. It's kind of like a server to server race in that regard. Like, I think the Japanese server Tonberry is currently in the lead because they have a lot of crafters and gatherers, but in North America, my server Balmung is in the lead. I think we're like behind Tonberry by like a step.
Y'all were tied, and now Tonberry is like way the hell ahead.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of lost steam after... Because the first 10 days of this, there's a ranking period where you can get on a leaderboard, and there's one board for every crafter, which there's 8, and every gatherer, which there's 3, for every server. And so Chris and I decided that we would try to get on the leaderboard this time, doing fishing.
Yep. And not just on the leaderboard. The top 100 get a reward, and then the top 12 get their own reward. The top 100 become the beta of the firmament, and the top 12 become saints of the firmament. And after the first day, we both decided that we're in the running for this, aren't we? I guess maybe we should see it through.
Yeah. Like the first day, I wasn't interested in the rewards the last time because they're the same rewards as last time. It's just a title for your character, which is not really all that important. Like there's a bunch of other PvP titles and like actual like PvP mounts and special unique gear that you can't get unless you compete in the PvP seasons from like years ago, which you can't do anymore. This is just a title, which whatever. It's not a fancy cool weapon, nothing. It's just a title. So the extrinsic reward isn't really anything. The bragging rights might be something. And the intrinsic reward of pushing yourself to see how far you can go, which was what I was more interested in, can be rewarding. Mm-hmm. But since the extrinsic reward wasn't that valuable, I decided to pass up doing the ranked stuff last season. But this season, I went into the Diadem to do fishing because I found out that every fish you catch, you can desynthesize it to get the materials from the other gatherers. And you can sell those for a lot of money to the crafters on your server. So I was just going in there to make money, and I only spent like an hour and 30 minutes fishing, and I fell asleep during one of those. That's how little I was like paying attention then. And somehow I ended up in 28th place, and I'm on one of the largest servers in North America.
Yeah.
So, and I thought, well, I'm here. I might as well try it. And God, was that an ordeal.
It was like, I got on it after that first day. I was like 24th, and I'm like, but I also turned in a second load late, and I was like, by like 20 minutes, and I was like, shit, if I had turned in that second load, I would have been 12th. So, God, I'm in this, aren't I? And then we both decided to go hard. Rose also decided. There were like 3 days where we all had the exact same ranking, and it was kind of beautiful.
We were 10th on 3 different servers. It was very cool.
And like that's also one of the things you can do with it. It's why a lot of the people that do mining and botany for it, especially, because you can sell the stuff on the market board, but you can also, like, I was fishing up stuff, and then I was turning all my fish into materials and giving them to friends, and I helped 4 of my friends get into the saint category through crafting by just giving them the materials I fished up. So when I sit there and I look back on it and I go, was it worth it? No. But then I look at it as, wait, I helped my other friends get that. So you know what? Yeah, it was worth it. Because I helped other people get a reward that they wanted too. So, in the end, it felt pretty good.
I was funneling some of my resources to Rose because we're on that same data center. So she would like hop over to my server, and I would desynth a stack of manta rays and then give her all the materials for that. And so because she needed them, because she was in it for carpenter, which that's the difference. Like Rose only logged in like 2 hours a day for the 10 days and then did some crafting and logged off, and she got 9th place. Chris and I had to spend multiple hours fishing just to stay in the top 12 because gathering is not like the crafting contest is basically crafting, but there's some RNG elements, and it's basically solving a puzzle of maximizing when you get a good status effect and mitigating the effects of a bad status effect, basically. So it's like a fun little puzzle you get to do. Gatherers basically just have an endurance test of how much of a thing can you gather, how many nodes can you mine, how many fish can you catch.
Yeah. I log on for 9 to 16 hours a day to do this thing, which is I remember the first time I podcasted, I think it was either with you or with Niall, I forget, but I talked about this, and whoever responded with, "Y'all got brain worms. There's something wrong with you." And I realized there's something wrong with us. There absolutely is.
Yeah. At the end of the whole event, I am satisfied with my results because my goals were seeing how far I could get, which was 4th on my server. Never dropping my rank, which also happened. I only ever went up in rank, or I stayed at my rank. And I had a lot of fun moments out of it, because the one fun part is when you're in the Diadem fishing, there's a public chat there called Shout Chat, where you're talking with everybody in that area. And people got into some really fun and goofy things. Like, you could type in egg, and then everybody in the server would just respond with egg. So you just have a whole chat log of just people saying egg.
And that was a good tactic for when chat could run anything from fun to really, really gross and dumb. And whenever it got gross and dumb, you could just type egg, and then it would shut it up.
But I had some amounts of fun. The real problem, though, was it's just not a good competition for the gatherers, because it's just endurance and how much of yourself you're willing to sacrifice.
Yeah.
How much time you're willing to sacrifice, how much of your social life you're willing to sacrifice. There were people in there who were saying, oh, make sure you're stretching and filling your water and feeding your animals and, taking breaks and stuff. But when you're in the top 12, complacency can often get you knocked out of the top 12. And if you're already gunning it, if you're already in there, you want to stay in there so you can get the reward. Mm-hmm. So,
if I hadn't been putting in 9 hours a day on the last 2 days, the last 2 days, I went a little easier, and I thought I was screwed. I finished 8th, but 12th through, or I finished 7th, but 12th through 5th were all within 1 3-hour session of each other. So if somebody had done one more session, he could have knocked multiple people out. It was intense and scary. That wasn't Final Fantasy 14. I'm excited to get back to content, because before that I had done so much fun stuff, which is friends of mine putting together meme runs of new content, which is I did a no jobstones run of the Puppets Bunker, which is the new Nier raid, which your jobstone is what makes you powerful, gives you access to most of your abilities. So it's going into the hardest content in the game with doing a quarter of the damage you normally would, and having access to 7 abilities instead of 30, or the 19 that I normally use in my rotation.
It's analogous to doing a Pokemon run where you're not evolving your Pokemon, or doing a Fire Emblem run where you're not promoting your units. It's the same kind of concept.
So it took normally a run through Puppets Bunker, if everything goes smooth, takes about 20 to 30 minutes. 25, 35 usually. It took us about an hour and hour 10, somewhere in there, just because you're doing a quarter of the damage you normally would. In a regular fight, a boss will get through 2 to, if things are bad, 3 cycles of its ability. This was everything going well and still the boss going through 6 to 8 cycles of his things. So you start seeing mechanics you've never seen before, even though they're the same mechanics. The more they happen, the more differently they come out. So it's like having to adjust for, oh no, like 7 rings are coming out faster instead of 4. And it was like such a cool thing. And like this weekend, I'm doing an all tanks run of the same thing. And it's like, it's putting together these unique challenges for things is makes it such a different game and changes up the feel to just make it feel incredible. Like, I want to do more of it, and I'm so glad I can get back to it now that fishing is done. Because there was also, I had started doing high-end raid content before that with my FC, and that's something I know you do a ton. Like, God, you've done the new trial like 100 times, and I've done 3 wiped lockouts to it, and I'm like, okay, but it's such a cool thing of going into this and having to learn, because the high-end content feels so different, because it's suddenly like, oh, not everything has an AoE to it. You actually have to look at the boss's cast bars and the way they're animating to know what they're doing, and it's such a different feeling than the regular flow of the game that it's been awesome.
Yeah, but our fishing hell is over now.
Our fishing hell is over. We're free.
I got a gorilla mount.
We all got the gorilla mount. I got all the mounts and everything, and I can finally be free and get back to other games and actual content.
All right. Well, thank you all for the update. I got a new game today.
Ooh.
Oh.
What'd you get?
Folks, I got that Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection for the Nintendo Switch.
Oh man, that's the one with Super Mario Sunshine and 2 other games.
That's right. It has that and 2 other games. I've only really played Mario 64 because I think I'm probably going to try to play them in order. I think that might be fun, just having like the different eras of Mario, the different styles.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's perfectly fine. This game has a stain on it. Well, it has two big stains.
Oh no.
It has the stain of not having Galaxy 2, and it has the stain of it being a limited release that is going to be delisted even from the online shop. And I feel like if both of those things weren't there, if it had Galaxy 2 and it was going to stick around, I think it would be a no-brainer, 100% go and buy it. Even if it was just one of the two, if it didn't have Galaxy but it was going to stick around, or if it didn't have Galaxy, you know what I mean.
Mm.
Yeah.
I still think it's a pretty good package. I think if you can get it at like Walmart for $50 or whatever, I'd say still get it. It's a pretty good deal for these games. I can't really talk about how the other 2 play because I've only been playing 64, but 64 plays great. It looks really pretty. It's running at 720 on the screen, and I think like Galaxy and Sunshine are at like 1080 in docked mode. I haven't seen any problems with the game. It's a plain collection, but these are 3 still very good games. But I do 100% agree with people that have the problems with this game, because it is just a bare bones release of 3 games where they skipped over one of the big ones that people really love, and there's nothing to it other than the games. They have a little like music selection or whatever, but come on, it's very bare bones. So I do get that, and Nintendo Nintendo needs to realize that people are going to play these games no matter what, and if they keep it in rotation and they actually like let people experience these games, people will continue to enjoy them, and people will continue to enjoy the legacy. And I don't know. I've talked about this so many times that I don't want to just keep talking about this over and over again. Just play these games however you can. Get it on the Switch if you want. Get the old versions. Get it however you want. They are good games. But I just hope that Nintendo realizes that not delisting this game would it would not diminish the power of these games. It would only improve them, because the more people that can play these games, the more people realize that they are timeless. And that is Nintendo's problem. That is the Disney Vault problem. That is the problem with just capitalism in general, that they want to make this something that only a certain number of people can get to make it special. Hey, it's not special. People will be able to get these games. You're just making it so they have to pirate it. So, whatever. It's a good collection of games. The games are very good and they run fine. I just wish it wasn't like this. I just wish that they had released it normally and that it had Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
That's really it. Yeah.
The Galaxy 2 thing is still the most baffling thing to me. It's weird. It feels weird.
It is absolutely nuts. When you turn that game on, it plays music from Galaxy 2.
Yeah, that makes it even weirder. It's like it was there and they pulled it out to sell it separately.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fucked.
I don't know what their deal is.
Yeah. I am currently downloading that at the moment, so I'm like, great. But at the same time, yeah, that's maddening, because I wanted to go back to both of those games.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not going to be able to go back to one of them because I'm not plugging in my Wii.
I have never played Galaxy 2. I was looking forward to trying that game out for the first time, and now I'm gonna have to buy it on the Wii U, or buy an old version, or get it however, because it's not on here. And you know what? Yeah. Maybe one day it will be. Maybe they'll do something to release Galaxy 2, but it is just such a missed opportunity. They really could have just they could have slam dunked this collection by having all those games, but they're just how much you want to bet that someone at Nintendo said, no, it's not old enough yet,
That would be so ugh.
Yeah. There's probably some really stupid concept that the reason why they didn't do this, and we'll never know, but it's probably stupid. I'm just gonna guess it was dumb and leave it there. So there you go.
Yeah, it's... Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Oh well. I guess real quick, speaking of Nintendo, the 3DS has officially been discontinued. They are no longer making 3DSs. It has been removed from their website, online, the front page, and they've officially said it's out of production.
Damn.
What a good system.
It was. I know that there are people that have issues with its size and with its form factor, but God, the games on the 3DS were so good. You two should. What are your favorite 3DS games, and what are some hidden gems you would like to point out?
Well, allow me to open my Persona Q Shadow of the Labyrinth 2 3DS case. The first one sucked, but the second one is a phenomenal game. And go through some of my favorites. First of all, it brought back Fire Emblem.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Fire Emblem almost completely died without the 3DS.
Yeah, that game is... That first one they released on there is incredible.
And then they almost killed it again.
And then, yep, and then they brought it back again with but it's
Yeah.
Fire Emblem was incredible. Shin Megami Tensei 4 is incredible. All the Shin Megami Tensei strategy games they made were phenomenal. There are so many good RPGs for that system. Like every single one of the Etrian Odyssey are just, it's so I have so many feelings about that system. It will probably be my most played video game console ever. I don't think any system will surpass the amount of hours I put into with the 3DS, because just so many good RPGs, so many good puzzle games, so many good, it's a system that should not die.
Well, it's dead. Well, no,
Rest
I mean,
in
people
peace.
can still buy it, but it's, they're not making any more.
Did you have any favorites there, Skull?
So Fire Emblem Awakening was the big one.
Yeah.
Bravely Default.
Incredible.
I really liked the first one. I didn't play much of End Layer, but the first one, I know a lot of people have misgivings about the second half of that game, but I enjoyed it.
Same.
The Pokemon games were pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people have big opinions on X and Y and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. But I think they were a pretty good leap up leading into we're going to have Pokemon games where they're no longer sprites but actual models.
Mm-hmm.
So there are we could spend an entire podcast deliberating on the merits and flaws of each of those games in and of themselves, but I think on the whole they were pretty all right. I liked them more than Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
I think those are the big ones for me.
Brought us The Alliance Alive, which brought back Murayama to video games, which led to a Yuden Chronicle so that I could cry on the podcast multiple times. It's a good system.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Animal Crossing New Leaf was a pretty good one.
Some of my favorites, I love Sun and Moon a whole lot. Shout that out as usual. My 3DS is a Pokemon machine. I guess the weird shout out that I'll give is to Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon on the 3DS, game that came out as a launch title. If you like tactics RPGs, it's just a tactics RPG. It's a really good tactics RPG. Seriously, look into it. I know that it being Ghost Recon game probably makes you go, eh. And yeah, there's some, America hoo-ah shit in there, but if you can look past that, there's a really good tactics RPG there. And it came out at the launch of this system. So it's probably really cheap. You can get that game for a song.
Damn.
Kid Icarus Uprising, one of the better written Nintendo games. I love that game to bits. I wish that they would re-release it on Switch so you can play it like a normal human being. Smash for 3DS, that was so much fun, finding out stuff about that game. That Smash leak when everyone was just sitting there what the fuck? Why is the Duck Hunt dog in this game?
Yeah.
And just, seeing the day that it came out in Japan, and I will always remember sitting on a Twitch stream of some random person who got that game at launch, and seeing them unlock Ness and the Magicant stage, and just sitting there being oh my god, they made a Magicant stage. This is gorgeous. This is a dream come true. Just really, really awesome stuff with that game. That game is, Smash 4 in all of its forms was a pretty good game. Obviously, Ultimate kicks its ass, but Smash 4 was incredible at the time. A lot of stuff that you all talked about. And I guess I'll shout out that the first time I received a physical game for review was for the 3DS. I got Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer.
Wow.
Which, I don't care about Animal Crossing in general. And then Happy Home Designer is like Animal Crossing, but less. So, I don't know. It's
I had another one. Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate was the first Monster Hunter game I played, and I played the most of that game out of all three of the Monster Hunter games I played.
Mm-hmm.
Like I already mentioned, the thousands of hours I put into that one.
Yeah. Oh shit! I even completely forgot about Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Those were really good.
Really good remakes, yeah, like super, super good. They fixed a lot of the problems that those games had. Like, people don't want to admit that Gen 3 had problems. Like, you know, everyone's like, oh, blah, 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 the too much water shit. Gen 3 had too much fucking water. And they cut down on that in the remakes. They made those games a lot more playable. So, absolutely, yeah. Like, that's why I'm not, like, actively looking forward to Gen 4 remakes, but I'm at least cautiously optimistic. Because I don't really like Gen 4, but if they patch up Gen 4 like they patched up Gen 3, it'll be good. It'll be pretty good. I don't know, the 3DS was just a fantastic console, and yeah, it's a shame that it's over, but hopefully that just means that the games will get cheaper, and if they don't get cheaper, then, you know, there's still the eShop, I guess.
Yep.
The only other things I wanted to mention were these were games that were released like on other systems, but their 3DS ports were pretty good. Shovel Knight and VVV.
Mm-hmm.
Those are pretty good.
Yeah.
That snap it makes when you pop the shell open and click it into position.
What's everyone's favorite version of the 3DS? Because honestly, I am completely in love with that new 2DS XL, the last one that they put out. They fucking nailed it at the end. That is, it looks kind of like stupid. It looks like a fucking Fisher Price toy, but it's the best one in the hands. It's at a great price. It just runs like a dream. They really nailed it at the end there.
Yeah. Like I have to agree with that one. I like the 3DS XL. It was a little too large. Like, I want to be able to easily fit it in my pocket. And that one was, I mean, it still fit, but... And then I look at it now, and my phone is actually larger than it. Like, it used to be... But back then, when it first came out, it was like, who the fuck can carry something like this in their pocket? It's so huge. And like, then of course, now I get my Samsung Galaxy and go, oh wait, this thing's like an inch taller.
Yeah.
My favorite's just the original model, because that's the one that I got. Although I did, when the 2DS was new, I got one of those for my sister's birthday. Like, I gave it to her, to be clear, and like a Pokemon game, and she really liked that one. So, the 3DS was just a really good system.
Yeah.
A lot of great games. A lot of different ergonomic options if you want like one that folds or one that's just flat. Yeah. It had a good run.
All right. Well, there you go. All right. Chris, do you want to talk about the Avengers?
I do. I have to talk about Square Enix's Marvel's The Avengers now that it's out, and I was playing the demo. You know, I was talking about the beta and all of that through those weeks, and I said it was incredibly mediocre. The most 3 out of 5 game ever made. And then I played the actual release, and... Well, here's another piece for your news. They just released a huge patch where they fixed over 1,000 problems. And they made a big deal about pointing out that they fixed over 1,000 problems, which shows you how much of a shit show this game is. That's maybe 1/10 of the way to what they need to fix. There was, through the first 2 weeks of the game, there was a patch released almost every day that I had to download. It is an absolute technical mess. But I'm glad that I took a couple weeks off the podcast, because if I had come on to just talk about it as I was playing it, I would have called it the worst game ever made. But I had like 200 hours of fishing to really stew on my feelings for it. And I go back and I go, the game still sometimes feels good. There are moments, and it doesn't have as many of the incredibly shitty moments that the beta had, where it's just like, oh, that enemy just showed up and killed me in one shot. It still has those issues, and all the characters, none of them really feel great to play as. The only characters I really enjoy playing as are Kamala, and Captain America is pretty fun to play as, but like Black Widow just sucks. Iron Man's okay. Hulk has some unique stuff but for the most part is just kind of eh. But every single character plays pretty much the same, just with different abilities, which aren't even that different. I mean, everyone's attacks are hit X a bunch of times, or hit square a bunch of times, or hit square a couple of times and then hold it down, or hit square a few times and then hit triangle. I wish there was more to it. It's still a really mediocre game, and the glitches that happened, like Kamala has the ability to like swing from poles to get from area to every area or cross long gaps. The only problem is there's about a 20% chance every time you swung from a pole for just the game to completely explode in hilarious ways. Like, I shared a video of it once to Twitter, and it was literally just like the character bounced to the other side of the map and just started bouncing up and down in the air, and then eventually like teleported into oblivion. It is
It reminded me of like old Tony Hawk Pro Skater glitches where your character is just like falling upwards forever. It was wild.
That happened to me multiple times, and it just seemed to randomly happen whenever I was doing the swinging. Which, like, the best part is, the game doesn't crash. I can still go into menus and level up or whatever, and all I have to do to reset it is just reset from last checkpoint. I will give the game a pretty decent checkpointing system. You don't usually lose a ton of progress when shit like that happens. But it just... It's such a weird thing because, like, the easiest part of the game is the boss fights. Just like the baseline enemies are 10 times more dangerous than a boss. Like, there's one boss fight late in the game where you're fighting this big-ass mech, and it's like, okay, I'm fighting this. The only time it gets hard is when the regular baseline enemies show up. It's like the game balance just feels so weird. And then, like, the final boss has an incredible conceit of, hey, every character has a phase of the boss fight. And that would normally be cool, but every phase of it sucks. And just doesn't feel good. So it's just... It continues to be like there's still a few things left for me to do because there's a lot of post-story content which has its own story and cutscenes to it. So it's like, I don't know why they don't just keep calling it part of the story, because, I mean, it is. like once I go through a little bit more of that over the next week, I'm going to start writing the review, but it's definitely still the most 2 out of 5 game I've ever played at this point. Because I can't call it like a terrible, terrible game. It's like, I'm glad I had time to think on it because I was just pissed as I was playing it. But I went back to it the other day and I had a lot of fun with it. I actually had a session of it that was just a lot of fun, and I was like, this game can be good. It's just so broken and badly like balanced. Like once I got high enough level that the enemies didn't one-shot me and were two-shotting me instead, it became a little bit more fun. But it's still just... It's weird. It's so weird. I want it to be good. Like, all the story stuff surrounding Kamala is really great. But then, like, Captain America joins the story, and one of the first lines of dialogue from him back on the ship is, trusty encyclopedias. I don't understand this newfangled internet thing. And it's like, oh my god. And repeating dialogue, and not only repeating dialogue, but jokes stolen from other things. So literally I had a fight where Tony Stark, in a really bad Robert Downey Jr. impression, just says, I make this look good, like 30 times in the span of like 5 minutes. Like every time I beat an enemy, I make this look good. I make this look good. I make this look, and oh my god.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to deal with, and like the way things shift, like at the beginning of the story, they feel like their own characters, but then as they come back together, like Tony Stark is cool when you first meet him, and then he just once he starts running around in the Iron Man suit fully again, it's just a bad Robert Downey Jr. impression.
It's so disappointing.
And it gets in its own... Like, this game gets in its own way constantly, because there are the makings of a good game in it, which makes it even more maddening. It's just so poorly put together and implemented that it's like... This could be good if you go to the Ubisoft school of, we will keep supporting this game until we finally make it good. Like, The Crew 1 was a terrible game, and then after patch after patch after support for years, it became a pretty damn good game. So there's a chance this could be good, but don't buy it right now.
Yeah.
Because they still got about 20,000 things to fix.
Alright. Well, I think that's about it, other than the last bit of news. And then we can move on to questions. The last bit of news is that Michel Ancel is leaving game development.
Yeah.
It's pretty surprising. He's been around for over 30 years. He was working on Wild and Beyond Good and Evil 2. But I guess he's done. Posted on Instagram where he's gonna just be working at a wildlife sanctuary now. Which, you know, that seems like a really nice thing to do with your life after working on games for 30 years. But I don't know. I mean, you know, dude was working on 2 games. Pretty weird, but hey. Sounds like both of those games are still going. People are still working on it. Doesn't sound like it's anything bad is happening, but I don't know. I mean, maybe he just left because he couldn't stand being a part of a company that is going down the shitter, or, I mean, has been in the shitter, and now it's just public that it's been in the shitter. Like Ubisoft is, so you know, makes sense to me that he's kind of leaving, but I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's a very weird thing, but hey, made good games. Rayman and original Beyond Good and Evil.
He's got a history of really, really good stuff.
I think working at a wildlife sanctuary is pretty cool, and I hope that works out for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just wish him the best. Hope he, enjoys the success doing something he loves.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, then, let's move on to questions. If you want to send in a question, go to videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask, and you'll sound like these fine folks right here. Anonymous asks, what's the worst deal in gaming?
Apparently the new PS5 thing.
I think the worst deal in gaming are the ones that are like... It's any game that, when it's releasing, has 16 different editions that are exclusive to every different retailer you can imagine, and they come with different in-game bonuses and little accoutrements and trinkets you can have. I think that those are always the worst deal in gaming.
Yeah.
Because most of the stuff in-game that you can get is inconsequential, like a weapon or an outfit. And all of the accoutrement, like, you'll be able to just get that stuff in, like, the secondhand market, because people will sell that.
Yeah.
So if you really want to get everything, you can get that elsewhere. But also just... I don't need a figure of the main character yet. Like, I'm just going to wait till they release an Android or something, because they're actually going to put in the effort of making that a decent quality figure,
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say that, like, very expensive, like, limited editions that don't actually have anything interesting, it's just a bunch of bullshit that isn't actually cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
if your special edition comes with an Android, that might be one of the best deals in gaming. But if it's just like like a snapback hat and a poster.
Well, and sometimes they release the statues, but the statues that they do for special editions are made, usually have the quality control of ass. Like, I bought the Uncharted 3 special edition, I think it was, that came with a statue of Nathan Drake, and it is one of the worst statues that I have ever seen. It's like they're usually incredibly cheaply made. It's very rare that they actually spend the money for actual, like, quality production on special edition statues. The only game I've ever gotten that had a actual, like, quality solid sculpt and, like, using high quality materials is Mirror's Edge 2 had a really, really quality statue that came with it that I was shocked, because it's like, normally those are atrocious.
What about you, John? What do you think the worst deal in gaming is? You said
Yeah, it's just like bad limited editions. I agree with you. Just like, I don't know, I'm just thinking about all those, like, there was that, like, $300 Destroy All Humans one recently.
Mm-hmm.
That just looked horrible. Like, stuff like that. Just, they need to stop making those.
Also, in-game money stuff is the worst deal in gaming.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back to Avengers, where if you do all your daily stuff and your weekly challenges, you can get enough points to unlock to get enough currency to unlock the new characters that are releasing in about 3 weeks of doing it all. Because you get, it takes 200 points to get to the maximum. You get 22 from your weeklies, and you get 6 a day from your daily stuff if you do it. So why the fuck am I gonna buy the $999 package or I mean the $99 package that gets me a bunch of the current in-game currency to buy skins and stuff, when if I do that 3 weeks of just doing my daily shit, I will unlock all of that anyway.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff drives me up the wall whenever I see it in a game. That, you know, the Fortnite ones.
Sure.
It's just infuriating.
Right. All right. Shulis asks, which appetizer would you get if you went to Applebee's with Mario? All right, I'm gonna have to hang on. Applebee's menu. So I don't know the Applebee's menu off the top of my head. I'm gonna have to look.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up right now.
I'm just gonna get steak and peanuts.
I don't need Applebee's. Applebee's doesn't need my location. Please leave me alone. Okay. All right, appetizer specifically. We got boneless wings. We got the classic combo. I'm gonna say classic combo. We can't choose because that's everything. We got breadsticks with Alfredo sauce, chicken quesadilla, spinach and artichoke dip, brew pub pretzels and beer cheese dip, mozzarella sticks, double crunch bone-in wings, super salad, and crunchy onion rings. All right, what's your choice? If you're going out with Mario, specifically with Mario, is there something? Are you going to choose something different, or are you just going to go for what you would normally do?
I'm gonna get that crunchy onion rings. I guess, because that's the only thing on there that doesn't sound like ass.
Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna get the boneless wings.
Okay. I dig that. I think a chicken quesadilla plate would be good as an appetizer with Mario. I think we could split that. It would be very tasty. We should do that.
Yeah. I'd get the spicy wings and see if he does the noise he makes when he steps on lava when he eats them. And then they'll be like, Mario, they're not that hot. Come on.
I can't do a Mario voice right now. I'm too inundated with smoke still.
You do like the
yeah. No.
You can add one breadstick to any order for 99 cents.
Oh shit! I'm definitely doing that.
Side of steamed broccoli, $2. They got fruit smoothies. They got iced teas. Damn. You gotta go to the Applebee's. You can just order I can order Applebee's right now if I wanted to. I could order
Hell
it.
yeah.
I'm not going to.
I'm gonna order poke.
There you go. Let's see here. We have a question from Flip, who asks, longtime listener, first time caller, what's y'all's favorite Mario power up? We got Mario on the brain this week. So what are your favorite Mario power ups?
Tanuki suit, Mario 3.
All right.
Easy peasy. I can fly. I can turn into a cool statue. Everything I want.
Spencer, how about you?
I don't know if this counts as a power-up, but I'm going to choose to believe it does. The sunglasses you can wear in Super Mario Sunshine, which dims the brightness. And also, when you get, I believe you get this after 120 shine sprites, you get a cool, patterned, button-up shirt over Mario's overalls that's, a nice, sky blue with, a shine sprite pattern on it.
Too cool.
So... It doesn't give you any advantages in terms of new moves, but it looks cool, and it was the first time I was playing a game where it's like, oh shit, you can get cosmetic stuff that looks really cool. And from that point on, I was always excited whenever games gave you new costumes or accessories or stuff that you could make you could equip to make your character look cool.
Yep.
John?
I mean, I'm thinking about, I got Mario 64 in the brain, so I'm thinking about the song that plays when you turn metal, which fucking whips. And then also, Metal Mario is very intrinsically tied to Smash Brothers, so that also gives it some credit there. But, There's some other really good power-ups in Mario. There's some weird shit. I mean, there's the one where you turn into a bee in Galaxy. That's fucking crazy. There's like the cloud one. I think that was in Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the humble fire flower. I'm just looking at a fucking list of power-ups on the Mario Wiki, maybe the most heinous place of all time.
The carrot from Super Mario Land 2 is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. The blue shell? You remember the blue shell in New Super Mario Brothers? That was weird.
Yeah.
The cannon box in 3D World?
The cat suit in 3D World?
Yeah. Yeah, cat suit.
Cat suit was good.
The double cherry. I like the double cherry a lot. Those are some fun levels in 3D World. The ice flower.
Ooh.
I liked the ice power in Galaxy because it lets you like do like ice skating on the ice. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. The penguin suit. That was in New Super Mario Bros. Wii and U. There's a lot of cool stuff on here. Damn.
Mario is a cool dude. He's got cool power.
The super crown, just to fuck us up for all eternity.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my personal favorite. You know what? I'm gonna throw a weird one out there. I think it's the propeller.
Oh.
I like the propeller a lot. I like the spin up and the slow descent to collect the coins or to do all those different things. That's really fun. The runner up though, I think would be the bouncy ball from Mario Land 1. I forget what the power up is specifically called, but the one where it's just like you shoot a ball. And that I like. I hope that they bring that back sometime.
I love that they added it to Mario Maker 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same here.
It starts playing that music. Do 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 do. It made me happy.
Yeah, it's a good song. Okay, we have a question. We have a question from an anonymous user who asks, is Shoeless a foot guy or something?
Look,
oh my God.
I've already dunked on Shoeless on this podcast before. I'm not doing it again. You cannot fool me.
No, it's not spelled like that. It's SHOOLIS. It is not shoeless, like without shoes. I don't know if he's a foot guy. I don't want to argue about it. I feel like he's probably listening to this right now and he wants to strangle me to death. But
I mean,
yeah.
you deserve it.
I do.
At least when I was dunking on him, it was like, hey, thanks for being a fan of our content.
Well, let's see here. I don't know. The rest of this is just all bullshit, because Wheels just sent in an image, because you can put images in Tumblr Asks somehow now. I don't know why, but it's just a meme of the guy from that Wendy's commercial, and it's this interesting fellow. How does he eat his spicy goodness? And as you know, he eats it like a boss. So, thank you, Wheels, for the image, but also fuck you. And then Anonymous asked, what shoe size does Mario wear? I mean, I guess this person is a foot person, not shoeless, so...
I think they're more of a shoe person, though.
Maybe they're a shoe person. Yeah, I don't know. Look, I'm not going to kink shame you, but also, it's not episode 69.5 yet, so keep it to yourself for now.
Keep it contained.
Keep it contained.
I don't know. Mario's like what? Like maybe a size 7?
I'm gonna check this. I'm gonna.
Oh no! Are you gonna
Mario shoe size?
No, he's like a 22.
Mario shoes. There's a page on the Mario Wiki for Mario shoe. In Luigi's Mansion, it is one of 5 items Luigi needs to take to Madame Clairvoyant to find Mario. In Paper Mario, Mario changes his shoes, called boots, to a pair of either green or blue boots. And then in Mario and Luigi, the players can change their shoes to give them different abilities. Footwear category. Let's just there's all kinds of shit. Karibo. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm gonna guess he's a 7 because he's like he's a shorter gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he might have smaller feet.
All right. Well, there you have it. The small man.
It'd be very funny though if his shoe size was like 6.4, like for Super Mario 64.
That would be pretty funny. That would be very funny. Release the shoe size, Miyamoto.
Release the shoe size.
Release the shoe size. Well, folks, I think that does it for this week's show. I would like to thank both of you for being on this program. If you would please plug your stuff. Spencer, please go ahead.
You can find me on Twitter at Solaire Hazard. Solaire spelled like the Dark Souls character.
Mm-hmm.
You can find me on Twitter at Judgment Scythe. And, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You can find Video Game Choo Choo at VGCC. That's our Twitter. On Tumblr is videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com. We have a Discord server, the GameZone.zone. You type that into your web browser and it will bring you straight there. We have our Patreon, patreon.com/VGCC. If you have the money, you can donate $3 to us to get stuff like Chuchigatri Unlimited Train Works and our interview, which is our anime podcast, and Starlight Car, which is our interview podcast. We also have other stuff in the works, of course. We always do. And I'd like to thank Melt Channel /Magic Circuit for our theme song Crush off of the album Magic is Real. You can stream them on Spotify, Melt Channel, or Magic Circuit, and also buy their stuff on Bandcamp. meltchannel.bandcamp.com and magic-circuit.bandcamp.com. You can also find me on Twitter at JOHN_MICHONSKI. And, I think that's about it. That's about it. So, yes, thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode of the Video Game Choo Choo podcast. So long.